back. We are on part 3. Today we are doing bronzing, contour, and powder. So let's go ahead and start with powder. Okay, I am going to let go of the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth powder in 110 porcelain because I have the Maybelline Super Stay in 102 fair porcelain. So because this is lighter, I'm going to let go of this one. I'm also going to let go of this powder that I got. This is the e.l.f. Plus Matte Blotting Powder. It's not a bad powder, but the reason I'm going to get rid of it is because it doesn't come with anything like an applicator. So you have to carry something separately, whether it is like a, whatever this is, like a velour puff, or you have to carry like a brush with you. So it really doesn't make it very convenient. I got this from TJ Maxx for like a couple dollars. So I am going to go ahead and let go of that. Honestly, I know this isn't very exciting, but I'm going to keep the rest of these. This this CoverGirl Clean Fresh Powder in translucent. I am going to use this because I really haven't gotten to use it very much. So I'm going to use this in an upcoming video, and then I will decide on this. So this is a possible declutter. I'm going to keep both my Fenty powders. I love the lavender one for under my eyes. This is one I need to play with too, this Laura Mercier powder. However, it's not the normal one, it's the Glow powder. So I kind of actually am wondering, is this like supposed to be a dupe for that kind of? Alright, I'm going to play with these two, and there's a possibility that I'm going to get rid of one or the other after I play with them a little bit. So these, one or the other is a possible declutter. Definitely keeping my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. Love it. Keeping my Wet n Wild. I keep it on my desk. Love the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. It's amazing. Keeping both my Fenty. Definitely keeping my number 7 powder. This is a great powder. Haven't used it enough. I also need to test this powder. I've had it and I don't think I've even used it yet. This is a Hard Candy Blurring and Pore Refining Sheer Envy Loose Powder. I haven't got a chance to actually try this. So I'm actually going to put this one out on my desk. Put my Wet n Wild one up because I know I love it. And I'm also going to keep my Maybelline Super Stay. Well, this is technically a powder foundation, but I just use it as a powder. So since I'm putting that in this category, I'm also going to pull out my NYX Stay Matte but Not Flat powder foundation. I'm going to keep it as well. It's a very creamy, buttery one, and when I want to do a look with an actual powder foundation, I will use this one. This one did not look very well when I tried it with my powder foundation routine, which I will link that video for you up above and below. So I'm going to keep both of those. And of course, this is a staple, the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. It's a great powder. This is in transparent, and that is just one that you just can't get rid of. So potentially getting rid of these two. Definitely get rid of these two. So we're going to leave those two out, and then I will pull these back out later. So we're only getting rid of potentially 3. So that's not great, but we have a matte powder, powder foundations, under eye powder. So we have our Stay Matte powder, 2 under eye powders, 2 powder foundations, 4 face powders, and then these 2 more setting finishing powders. So those are all going back in the drawer. Let me get a drink here because this next category is going to be hard for me. Alright. Next we have contour and bronzing. Okay, what I absolutely know I'm keeping. I am keeping my cream powder from Fenty. Absolutely love this. I am absolutely keeping my KVD contour powder. Oh, I didn't rank my powders. I'll have to pull them back out and do that here in a second. Totally forgot what I was doing. I am keeping my Rimmel Radiance Brick. I love this for summer. I actually at some point had heard that they were discontinuing this, so I bought another one, so I technically have 2 of these. definitely keeping my ColourPop Coconut Beach one. Absolutely love it. I keep the Milk Makeup in the shade Blaze for contour. I'm going to keep the Physicians Formula. Definitely keeping my Fenty Beauty bronzer in Shady Biz. I love this little compact. It's so cute. Going to be keeping my Profusion highlight and contour palette. This is another really good one. You've got these highlights up here, then you've got like an under eye setting powder, a more darker, you could use contour, bronzing powder, highlights. Really great versatile palette there. Going to keep my L'Oreal True Match Lumi bronzer. Going to keep my Maybelline City bronzer. Going to keep my Milani. I am going to get rid of this one. I've had this one for... Oh, wait. This is not what I thought. I must have decluttered what I thought this was. Honestly, I am going to declutter this. I never use this blush. And I kept this for contour. But now that I have those other two for contour, I don't really need this anymore. I'm going to get rid of this AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder. Now, if you don't want to spend the money on the Maybelline City Bronzer, get the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder. This is not under bronzer. This is under the Finishing Pressed Powder. And this is in the shade Almond. These are perfect dupes. So there's Maybelline. And here is AOA. My compact's broke. I broke it when I first got it. So, alright. Look at that. Now, this one is... Hang on, let me swatch the Maybelline one again, because I did go in kind of heavy with the AOA. Alright, look at that. The tone may be just a smidge off on the AOA one, but that is so darn close. And this is the Maybelline City one in the shade 100. So if you want a dupe for $1, get the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder in the shade Almond. And I think you'll be pretty darn pleased. But I'm going to get rid of that because I do have the Maybelline one. I'm going to keep the Butter Bronzer. I'm going to keep my Too Faced Pineapple Paradise Strobing Bronzer in Pineapple Sun. This is a bronzer and a highlight. This is really pretty. I'm going to keep this stick from Maybelline. This is the Master Contour Stick. Love it. So I'm going to let go of these two. This is the Wet n Wild Contour Stick and the LA Girl Velvet Bronzing Stick. This one is definitely more on the orangey shimmery side from LA Girl. And I definitely prefer the Wet n Wild one and Oaks on You. That one's definitely more contoury bronzing. But I'm going to let go of both of those. I'm also going to let go of this Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer and Ticket to Brazil. I had it for a video. And honestly, it's a little too orangey for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. I'm going to keep my Flower Beauty. I'm also going to get rid of this Essence Luminous Matte. I just don't use it anymore, honestly. It is a really great bronzer. I used it for a long time. But I have other ones that I prefer more now. I'm going to keep the Hoola, and I might keep both of those. I am going to keep this Rimmel Jelly Bronzer. I want to play with it some more. I think I've only used it a handful of times. And then I think I am going to get rid of this e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette. Not that it's not good. I just don't use it as often as I do the other products. So I'm going to declutter that as well. But this is really, really a great cream contour palette. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 contouring bronzy. So that is 7 bronzing products that I'm going to get rid of, and 2 powders, potentially 3. So let me rank my contour bronzers, and then I will also get my powders back out and rank them as well. Alright, so I separated kind of my contouring products from my bronzing products. So for bronzers, and the bottom is this jelly bronzer, just because I haven't played with it enough to really tell you where it ranks. This is in the shade Paradise. It's definitely an interesting product. It's a weird texture, but it actually is a really pretty color and has nice pigment for being a bronzer. So that's definitely one that I'm going to play with some more. So for the time being, that is going to rank at the bottom of my list. Next would have to be my Hoola and my Hoola Light. I just kind of put them together because I don't pull them out very often. Again, this is one of those that I really thought this Hoola bronzer was going to change like the game for me and put me on the spot or something like that. I don't know. So I'm going to rank those above the Jelly bronzer. Next is my Flower Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunrise L1. Now, the reason this is so low is because it is a nice bronzer, but it's odd in that when you look at it, doesn't that look like that would be really cool tone? But when you actually swatch it and apply it, it's a lot warmer than you would think. So for that reason, it does rank kind of low because I do tend to use it, but more so in the summer because it is a warmer tone than you would anticipate. So next after Flower is my Maybelline City Bronzer. It's a great bronzer. It's a matte bronzer. Has 3 different shades. It's a great one. Next is my Too Faced one. I really, really like this. I actually like the highlighter as well. So that ranks next. Next is my Butter Bronzer. This is, you know, a cult classic. I actually didn't get my hands on this for a long time. And now that I haven't, I love the smell of it. I think it's a pretty bronzer, but I honestly kind of don't understand what the intense hype was over this. Kind of like I'm now finding with the Hoola bronzer, like what was the hype? It's a good bronzer, but it's not at the top of my list. Next is my Fenty Shady Biz. This is a great bronzer. I think I just don't use it as much because it is Fenty and like I don't want to run out of it. I know that sounds dumb because you buy products, you use products, but for some reason with this one it's like, well, don't use it all up because then it's all gone. Totally dumb. Next is my Physicians Formula Organic Wear Sculpting Bronzer. I actually recently used this in a video that I will link for you down below. I love this for contouring. I think it's a great color. This is in the shade Toffee. I like the product. I like the formula. I like the application. I use this one quite a bit. Next would be my Profusion Highlighter and Contour 1 palette because of the versatility. This is a really nice powder for setting under the eyes. These highlighters, these top 2 are pretty nice for me. This last one in Hype is a little bit too golden, but I could also use that as an eyeshadow. So to have a complete palette like powder, bronzer, contour, highlight, eyeshadow, that's not bad. And this is a $5 palette. So Profusion, if you are starting out in makeup, Profusion is a brand you really should check out with their face products as far as highlighter, contour, blush, and even eyeshadows. This is a really great brand to check out. Next is my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzer in the shade 01 Light. This is the largest largest bronzer pan that I own. I mean, this is ginormous. This will last you forever. It's a beautiful shade, beautiful sheen. Next is my Rimmel Radiance Break. I love this. This is like an OG one that I think I may have used when I first started my channel, was this bronzer. Because it was really hard in the beginning to find a bronzer that was light enough, and having like these rows up, this row, and this row to really kind of dig your brush into to get a bronze look that was light enough for pale skin tones was really something. This is in the shade 001 Light. Next is my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade 02 Sunkissed. There is a shade lighter, and that's what I originally meant to purchase when I bought this, but somehow I ended up with the shade 02, and I like it. I think it looks nice even though I'm pasty. I don't think it looks too dark or too orange at all. It's a great formula. And my favorite bronzer currently is from ColourPop. This is their pressed powder bronzer in Coconut Beach. I keep this in my everyday makeup drawer. I love it. Use it every day. Love it in the crease on the eyes. It's a really great formula. A decent size pan. Obviously not the same size as L'Oreal True Match by any means. So it's a good bronzer, and I really like it. That's all I can say about it. Okay, for contour, the bottom would have to be this Milk Makeup, not because it's bad, but because it's so dark in the shade Blaze that you really have to be careful with it. But when you shear it out onto the cheeks, I actually really do like it. I got this for like $10 at TJ Maxx, so I didn't spend the whole $30 on it, thank goodness. But that's probably last. Next is this Maybelline stick. Again, I don't even know if they sell this anymore. This is the V-Shape Duo in 010 Light. I really love this color for contouring, and it's very creamy. So, and then if I mess up, I can take this side and like run under it and kind of blend it out, so that's nice. Next would have to be my Fenty Cream Powder in Butter Biscuit. Love this. I actually will even use this sometimes to bronze, even though it is a little bit on the cool side. I love it. It's really pretty. So, like, yeah. You can kind of contour or you can kind of bronze. I don't know. It's up to you. I kind of use this interchangeably. And then my number one for contour is my KVD powder in Sombre. It's just the perfect tone of cool, bronzy that I like to use for contour. So there's those four products. Now let me grab my powders and I will rank those really quick. Okay, so let me gather everything I'm getting rid of. Alright, we are getting rid of 2 powders, potentially 3. Like I said, we're getting rid of these 2. And then bronzing contour, getting rid of the e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette, getting rid of the Essence Luminous Matte Bronzing Powder. Also, a reason I don't like this is because I don't believe that there's a shade range in this, and that's kind of aggravating. Well, it's really aggravating that I don't believe there's any darker shades in this, so I don't like that. Getting rid of this because it is a dupe for the Maybelline. Getting rid of the Ticket to Brazil because it's a tad too orange. Getting rid of LA Girl because it's orange as well. Getting rid of the Wet n Wild makeup stick because I have others that I prefer over it, but it is a really nice product. And getting rid of this e.l.f. bronze pink beige. This is one from that like aqua line that they had. Great for contouring, but again, I have other products that I prefer more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, potentially 10 products that we are decluttering from my collection.